What's up, guys? This is Showtime's Fight Form. Obviously, I am Showtime. What's up? We are ready for another episode. I'm so excited. This is actually a very, very fun episode. So this time, I'm going to do a rap and MMA comparison. All right, so you're gonna say, "What the hell are you talking about? What are you doing?" I'm gonna explain it. Last year, somebody on Twitter basically did a comparison between quarterbacks and rappers. So there was somebody who put like Drew Brees with Future, and then he explained why that Drew Brees is the future of the NFL, and just for so on and so on. So I was like, I could think I can do that with some fights, with some fighters, not fights. So just once again, you guys, I want you guys to comment. Definitely want you guys to like, subscribe, and all that jizz first, and definitely want you guys to tell me what you think. Do you agree? Is there a better rapper or better MMA fighter that fits this category? I'm always down for conversation. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. Some of these I play, some of these I put some thought into it, just a little bit, just a wee bit. All right, so first things first. The first fighter I have is Jon Jones. Jon Jones is a lot of people believe is the GOAT, but he has a lot of issues. So I was thinking, who in the rap industry has a goatish claim, but also has a lot of issues? Booyah, Kanye West. So I thought Kanye West and Jon Jones are a very great comparison. One, as soon as they started out the gate, you knew they were special. As soon as we saw Jon Jones in the UFC, we was like, this kid's gonna be champion. As soon as we heard College Dropout, we was like, Kanye West is gonna be that dude. And in their prime, in the midst of their music making, I mean, not their music making, but in the midst of Kanye's music making, in the midst of Jon Jones' greatness, man, like realistically, you can claim that he's the best to ever do it. I'm a big Kanye fan, so obviously I'm a little biased when it comes to that. But I mean, let's be realistic here. His first 3 or 4 albums were straight hits back to back, like some of the best albums you'll ever hear. Jon Jones, when he was in his prime, you were not touching him. You were getting finished. Period. It's just how long you gonna last. So yeah. So I think that's, and also dive in a little deeper. They both have issues. They both have a really rocky fan base. You have the stands that love him no matter what he's done. Then you have the people who are heavily critical because of the things they've done outside of their profession. Like Kanye, from my knowledge, hasn't broken any laws, but him being a Trump supporter, him doing the Taylor Swift issue, him talking about George Bush don't care about white people, and a whole bunch of other things have like honestly made people feel a little emotional about him. And then Jon Jones, we already know what he's done. All right, he's done cocaine. He's literally done a hit and run. He's been a part of a lot of crazy stuff. He's a wild boy. So I mean, that's also a comparison. And then I think they're both past their prime. I think Kanye, as far as a musician, I think he's washed. I'm not saying that he can never make good music again. I'm just saying there's nowhere near. We're never gonna get that College Dropout. We're never gonna get that Late Registration. And Jon Jones, while I think he's still good, I don't think we're anywhere near prime Jon Jones that was finishing everybody. So that's my first comparison. You guys can tell me what you think about that. My second comparison is another one I'm very, very strong about. It's Conor McGregor. All right, Conor McGregor. Who can we think of in the rap game that is a Conor McGregor? It's easy. Eminem. Eminem is the comparison to Conor McGregor. I'll explain why. His stands will say he's the greatest of all time. His stands are very delusional. And the reason why I'll say that is because I'm an Eminem stan. All right, I love Eminem. I think he's one of the greatest ever. Granted, talent-wise, it is factual. Eminem, talent-wise, is one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. Talent-wise, Conor is one of the greatest stand-up artists we've ever seen. He is that special in stand-up. Granted, he just got knocked out, but he's still special. It happens. It's MMA. Also, nobody can really out-talk shit when it comes to them. I mean, can't nobody talk better shit than they can. When it comes to beef, people don't really want to see Eminem because why? He'll more than likely slay him. Conor, people try. They always fail, and everybody ends up laughing at him. But Conor is one of a kind when it comes to that. Also, they do numbers. No matter if you like them or hate them, doesn't matter. You know you're going to watch them. And you know for a fact when it comes to Conor, his numbers will always be great. Eminem, his albums can be trash, but guess what? They do numbers. Why? Because he has such a big fan base. Both of them. So I think those that is my second one. Once again, those are the two I'm like extremely confident about as far as like the comparison. All right. Now the other ones, I believe they're not, the greatest. But once again, you guys can tell me who you think. Drake. All right. Now disclaimer. People, my friends know me as a Drake hater. I do not like Drake whatsoever. I do believe that he makes good music sometimes. I just don't think it's nowhere near as often as everybody say. I think he make a lot of lollipop music that's real catchy for 2 days, and then next thing you know, you're ready to move on to something else. But once again, he's consistent. So who is a Drake? Who I consider the Drake of MMA? This one is a little iffy, but I said Max Holloway. This is why I say Max Holloway. One, we've seen them both grow up. Drake, we literally seen from Degrassi grow up into the man that he is now to completely dominate and run the rap game. Like I said, I may not be a fan, but I'm not delusional. Drake is literally the king of hip hop right now. That's just a fact. No matter what he does, we know he's going to be on top. Max, we've seen him start his career super young. I think he was like 20, and now he's 30. And well, now I don't think he's 30 yet, but he's getting close to 30, and he's the best he's the best version of himself we've ever seen. He's getting better and better, and he's dominant. Granted, yes, he did just lose his last fight to Golovkin, but some people believe he won his last fight. But we do know one thing: if he's not the best 145er in the world, he's definitely 1B. So yeah, and I think that another thing about them that is very similar is they're both volume people. Drake puts out a lot of music. Drake puts out a song every year, maybe every 6 months, maybe every 3 months. It's often. I can't honestly go 6 months without hearing a new Drake song some way, shape, or form, and it honestly gets annoying. Max, he is a volume striker. All right, that's what he does. That's how he wins. That's how Drake wins. Drake will literally that's why he has so many streams. That's why he has so many daggone albums and all this other. Like, I can't even tell you. My producer Chris could tell you because he's more of a Drake guy. But he could tell me how many albums he's had within the past 10 years. But I know for a fact it's more than 5. And if it, well, I ain't gonna say albums, projects. He's definitely had more than 5 projects. But he gets you a volume and it's consistent. That's the thing. He's consistent with his volume. He's not just throwing out fluff, just like Max. Max is very consistent with his volume. That's why he's breaking these records with his volume. So I think that those two are like I said, that's my comparison. That one's a little iffy, but once again, you guys can tell me who you think would be the Drake of MMA, but that's my Drake of the MMA world. Next, we're going to say J. Cole. Who is a J. Cole of MMA? I got one, GSP. And some people are going to say, GSP, what do they have in common? I'll say this. They have an incredibly faithful fan base. The most faithful fan base of any artist you can think of. GSP stands are ridiculous. All right, they are diehard. He had the whole country Canada on lock. That's another reason why he was also breaking records in Canada as far as gates go. J. Cole. His fan base is honestly the most faithful fan base I've ever seen in any hip hop artist I've ever seen. They are ride or die J. Cole. J. Cole can't do no wrong. He walks on water to J. Cole fans. Now, another thing is their critics both say they're boring. All right. They're not the most exciting people in the world. GSP style isn't the most exciting style in the world. Sometimes people get bored watching him. J. Cole, some of his raps, some of his albums, like For Your Eyes Only, it's a little boring. Sometimes you can just be like, all right, bro, I got to be in the mood to listen to this. So that's another comparison. Another one is their fans think they're the greatest of all time. A lot of J. Cole fans think he's the GOAT. And if he's not one, he's definitely 2. GSP, fans, honestly, universally, people believe GSP is top 3 all time. But his fans 100% say he's the greatest to ever do it. Why? I mean, he's got a great resume. He has finished some people, but, later half of his career, he started, falling off just slightly. But that's my comparison with that one. Let's go. Wale. Only reason why I'm doing Wale is because I'm a gigantic Wale fan. And also, I'm from the DMV, PG County specific. So I'm definitely going to put some PG flavor in there. But I'm going to say, as far as Wale, my equivalent to Wale would be prime Tyron Woodley. And you're gonna say, I'm not saying, and the reason why I'm saying prime is because this new Woodley that we see now is very, very bad, like terrible. Prime Woodley, extremely talented, the best in the world. Wale, in my opinion, when it comes to talent, he is top notch. Wordplay, lyrics, whatever you need, Wale can do it. Like he can switch the flow. He literally can be in an R&B joint. He can also be in a trap song and still flow. I believe supremely talented. So that's not an issue. The problem with these guys are they're both kind of a crap. They both like to whine a lot. Like realistically, they don't get their way. You will hear about it. Tyron Woodley constantly had beef with Dana White. He always was picking on the fans. Also, is like, why am I the enemy? This, that, and the third, and trying to play like a little victimist sometimes. Sometimes he was valid, but sometimes he was reaching as far as like, oh, the black fighters don't really get the respect and this, that, and the third. And it's like, Jon Jones was like the highest paid athlete, but he effed it up because he, wanted to sniff some coke. Kind of not, DJ honestly also making some good money. I mean, it just didn't make sense. But then you also have Wale. Wale complained a lot. I remember he had a whole tantrum because a magazine rated Juicy J's album higher than his and cussed the people out and threatened to like beat him up. And it's like, bruh, who cares? You're making money, bruh. Like your fans know that you're good. Like who cares? It's magazine that company is probably a white man. Who cares? But yet and still, they both like to whine a lot. But they're great. They are great. I do believe Woodley is definitely a shell of his former himself. I do believe Wale is still a good rapper. I didn't really care for his last album, but I do believe he's still fire. So that's why I had to do Prime. Next one is going to be Big Sean. Big Sean. Actually, the funny thing is, the next person I'm actually pairing him up with is also from Detroit. And that's Kevin Lee. Now, this is the reason why I'll put them two together. Kevin Lee is talented. Extremely good. But he's the most inconsistent fighter in the UFC outside of maybe Cody Garbrandt. They're both extremely inconsistent, but Kevin Lee is the king of inconsistency. At one point, you can look at him and be like, that man's going to be world champion. And then the next one, you're like, he needs to get the hell out of the UFC because he's not getting it. But Big Sean, it's very similar. He can rap. We all know he can rap. He is a talented rapper. But when it comes to these projects and these albums, man, he be missing sometimes. And it's like, bro, like, you're a good rapper, but you need to put it all together. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now. So, like I say, he's very hit or miss, inconsistent. But at the top of his game, he could be up there with anybody. All right, we're getting close to the end. We're getting close to the end with these, all right? This one's a little fun. Rick Ross. Who's the Rick Ross of my fights? I put Daniel Cormier. The reason why? They both fat and they are legends. That's it. Let's move on. The next one after that is gonna be Future. Okay, Future. Let's look at Future. And I put, as far as Future, I put Donald Cerrone. The reason why I put Donald Cerrone in Future is because they both put out a lot of work. They're both very, very active. Granted, Donald Cerrone is not as active as he used to be, but they're very active people, and they get a lot of dubs, but also they have some very bad moments. Future has some trash songs. I don't care what people say. Yeah, everybody act like he's the most consistent dude in the world, but there's songs that you literally can listen to him and be like, all right, bro, you gotta shut up. Donald Cerrone, sometimes he just gotta, I'm sorry, bro, like, you shouldn't be fighting so much. My last one, this will be the last one. Kendrick Lamar. Who is the Kendrick Lamar of MMA? And I put Khabib. And people are going to say that's the weirdest comparison of all time, but I'll explain how. Khabib is a very humble, quiet guy that you don't really see a lot of. But when he's in action, he is literally, like, not even, like, it's not debatable. He is literally the best in the world. Kendrick Lamar, you don't see, he honestly come in spurts, but when you see him, when he actually raps, when he flows, nobody can touch him. He is that good. And like I said, pound for pound right now, if he drops an album, if he drops a song, if it comes to a performance that needs to be had, Khabib is going to be number one, and I'm putting Kendrick Lamar number one. So those are my rap comparisons. You guys tell me what you guys think. You guys tell me if you agree. If you think there's better comparisons, let me know. But once again, I'm a hip hop fan, so I'm always down to, have these type of debates. Once again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Thank you guys for tuning in. And you already know it's Showtime's Fight For 'Em.